Hello, everyone. Welcome to e-learning online grade 11 chemistry. I'm super excited that you have opted to take chemistry using this platform, and I look forward to getting to know you over the course of this semester. I know that we've had an interesting year so far, but I know that moving forward, I know I'm excited to get back into the learning and the teaching part of things, and I hope that you are too. I just wanted to go over with you some of the things that I think that will help you be more successful in the course and how to navigate the homepage that I have set up for us. So as you know, to enter into any Brightspace platform, you need to go to hdsb.elearningontario.ca, and then that takes you to a landing page. That's sort of like the entry to a school. When you click on the waffle up here, it will take you to the courses that you are registered in, whether it's an in-class course or an e-learning course. So for our course, the course code is SCH3UO, for online. And when you click on that, it takes us to our homepage. And I just wanted to go over a few things with you. In terms of setting things up, what I would suggest that you do is that you go to your name and you click on the notifications button here, and you can download this Pulse app from the App Store or from the Google Play, depending on what type of phone device you have. And once you do that, you can register your phone and you will get notifications right to your phone about upcoming assignments, and you can even activate the course online as well through your phone. Although I do suggest you use a laptop or a desktop to work on your stuff most of the time. So, other thing that I want to mention is going back to the homepage. So when you first logged in, I forgot to mention that you do want to make sure that you activate your G drive. So what that is it's found on the right hand side, and it enables you to make sure that you can access the emails in your drive when you're uploading documents and things like that. Okay, moving forward, so let's go back into our class here, and you'll see that on our homepage there is a news feed, and I'm going to be updating that once a week, and I will give you some video messages about some announcements and what I need from you, or any sort of tasks that need to be done. So I just wanted you to make sure that you read the news feed, because it will remind you of what tasks are upcoming and any announcements that you need. In terms of participation marks, for the first 2 weeks, you do need to log in every day in terms of getting an attendance taken, okay? So every day there is a participation activity, and I'll show you where to find that. Okay, let's take a look at what you need to be successful. So my suggestion to you is to make sure that you get yourself some sort of notebook in order for you to keep any sort of notes like definitions and concepts that you can have written out in one place. And I also suggest that in your drive that you set up a folder. So I've set one up like this. And what I've done is I've created 5 individual folders, because there's 5 units, and any documents that you download, you can keep organized. I just think that organization is sort of the key, and it will help you to find those things later on, okay? Next thing, let's talk about these icons that are up at the top. So when we go to the content section here, you are going to see that there are, and I'm going to go into student view right now. You will see that there are some tabs on the left-hand side, introduction. So in the introduction, there's a little bit about the course. So here is the course outline and how that is broken down in terms of your mark allocation and the units that we are going to be covering. Okay, so you can take a look at that. You're going to notice that it's pretty much the same breakdown as most of your other courses. 15% for knowledge and understanding, 20% application, 20% thinking, and 50% communication. In terms of the final evaluation, because this is a semester-long course, that final 30 will be broken down into a 15% exam and final performance task. Okay? In terms of your learning skills online look a little bit differently than they would in class. And I suggest that you go through each of these learning skills to see how I'm going to evaluate you in terms of whether you're an excellent, a good, satisfactory, or needs improvement. Okay, so please go through those. The other thing that you can do is you can take a look. There's a little bit more about me, the course materials that you will need, some general policies regarding plagiarism and how to reference properly. And when we do meet virtually on occasion, and I will set up some times that best work with your schedules that we can meet, what virtual classroom conduct looks like, okay? Hopefully you know how to navigate Brightspace. There's been some tutorials that have been sent out to you already, but if you are having trouble finding where those are, I've linked those all here again. One other thing that I do want to bring to your attention that I've added is when you are uploading documents to the Dropbox, instead, I know that some of you prefer to do work on paper, which is great because I do too, especially when you're having to draw molecules or you're having to do calculations. So what you'll want to do is get some sort of scanning software. And the ones that I've found in terms of uploading documents as one PDF file rather than as separate, like 12 different images, what you can do is go through this little tutorial. If you're an Android user, you will want to download this Google Drive app and watch how to scan the documents. And if you are an iPhone user, you might already have this Notes app. If not, just download it from the App Store and read how to create PDFs with your iPhone. Okay, it's much easier for me and for you when you're uploading to upload it as one document. Okay, so please go through that. Another thing that you will need to do this week is you need to register for 2 different accounts that I use for assessment and evaluation purposes. There's the Explore Learning Gizmo account, and I give you instructions on how to register and what our class code is. So please follow those instructions, as well as a Khan Academy account and how I'd like you to enter your username and our class code. Just make sure that you keep your password on hand so you know how to access that in future, okay? In terms of the safety, we're gonna go through some of that safety this week as our module 1, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Any resources that you will need in terms of a periodic table, the online textbook, okay, I've linked here in a separate tab. So those will also be embedded within our lessons as well, but here's just another area that you can find those. For you, participation activity 1, I'll have to omit that one there, but I've created a Google Slides presentation that I would like you to contribute to by adding a little bit of information about yourself. And this is what I'm asking you to do for today. There will be a different participation activity tomorrow and so forth. So remember, there's one each day for the next 2 weeks. And then after that, we'll talk about how that participation is going to look moving forward. Unit 1, what we're going to be starting off with is some review from grade 9 and grade 10 concepts, which is probably important given that some of you haven't had science since first semester of last year, or perhaps when we had the whole COVID experience, perhaps your learning wasn't at its best for grade 10 science. And so we're going to do a little bit of review, okay? Our first module, you'll click on that and you're going to see I have the topics laid out, okay? So every module is worth 1 week's of material. So this week we're going to talk about safety and lab equipment. And what you'll do is you'll click on the module 1 lesson and it will take you to these lesson slides, okay, that you're going to go through, okay? And it gives you some information about some assessment games that you can try. So here's one about WMIS symbols. Okay, so I suggest you do all of those practice activities so that when it comes time for tests and quizzes and things like that, you you have a good understanding, okay? This week, you are going to be asked to complete a lab equipment activity. And this here, it says read about the lab equipment functions. So this is a document that you will need to download, and you would want to download that into that Unit 1 folder. Okay, so you have easy access to that and you remember where it's located. Okay, and then it will tell you, oh, there's a lab equipment assignment that you need to do, as well as a safety symbol and laboratory quiz. Okay, so when we take a look here in this pink box, this is where it will link you to the Dropbox and to the quiz, okay, that you need to submit. And then any of those documents that were in that lesson, you will also find here as well that you can download, okay? In terms of any discussions that we're going to be part of, you go to this communication icon and you will enter a discussion here, okay? And you will notice that there will be a discussion listed there and you can add to the thread, okay? And part of your collaboration is your positive interaction with your peers, and this is one spot where that will occur. If ever we're going to have a virtual meeting, there is a virtual classroom. In terms of your assessments, there's the Dropbox and the quizzes, and this is where that would happen, and I will show you how to add to a Dropbox later on. One other important tool is the calendar tool, and I really like this to help you stay on track. So you can take a look at a month's glance, what is happening, and you can also put it in a list form of what you have due in terms of Dropbox items, checklists, or you can show all of it at the same time. Okay, so you can also sync your calendars so that it has multiple courses being listed at the same time. Okay, so play around with that, very useful icon and tool. Hopefully that is enough to get you started. And again, I don't think I formally introduced myself. I am Mrs. Warner, and I've been teaching chemistry for a good 20 years now, grade 11 and grade 12, but you can read a little bit about me in your first participation activity. And please feel free to contact me at any time, and I look forward to having a great year. Take care.